says. But Sam, you know, as you said, the BBC perhaps would not even employ someone like a Paul Henry. New Zealand TVNZ is the official broadcaster. They put it on their website. Is there a mindset? We've had this problem with Australia and New Zealand over the last, particularly Australia first, and now it sends, you know, one sense in New Zealand. Is it a mindset issue? Let me even point out that the BBC has said that the swimming pool in India is not hygienic when, and it was their top story because a few swimmers took ill. The OC had to issue a clear statement that nobody's, you know, a few swimmers falling ill doesn't mean a pool is unhygienic. Is there a problem in mindsets when it comes to dealing with India, still with the West, and that manifests itself in the Paul Henrys of the world?
I think you're being a bit over-defensive here. I think there's a very specific issue in New Zealand which is about the commercialisation of the national television channel, and it's clearly gone right downhill. I would point to another commercialisation problem. I was hoping to see the 100 metres final just now on TV, the blue ribbon event. Unfortunately, someone decided to put on a qualifying round of boxing and then lots of ads. Similarly, Doordarshan was interrupted by the opening ceremony by endless advertisements. Okay. I'm afraid, actually, it's more likely to be about commercial pressures on broadcasters.
Okay, that's a good point that you make. You know, Karan, I'm going to give you the last word, but some good news. We're just told MS Gill has apologized to the Ugandans. So, in case you're worried that the Indians have not apologized to the Ugandans, my foreign diplomatic correspondent Parul just tells me that Gill has apologized to the Ugandans. But yes, Karan, the last word to you.
Thank you for the last word, Rajdeep. I congratulate MS Gill for apologizing to the Ugandans. I just wish we'd done it with greater alacrity and earlier in the day. But let me remind you, earlier this week, the Duchess of Cornwall was India's guest. The press and probably every television channel and newspaper kept repeatedly calling her Camilla Parker Bowles. That happens to be the name of the first husband she was married to. She's divorced from him. She's remarried. He's remarried.
That's a mistake,
and yet we continue to call her Camilla Parker Bowles.
That's a mistake.
It's not a mistake. No, hang on. Let me finish. We know that her official name is the Duchess of Cornwall. No one bothered to correct it. The British didn't complain. That's the point I'm making. They could have turned around and said, look, you're being offensive and you're being rude. You're naming her and calling her after the husband she's divorced. But no one bothered because they knew it was not an error that was actually meant to be offensive. Even if to British ears it sounded wrong. Let's take what happened in New Zealand the same way. It was a stupid, unforgivable gaffe, but let's rise above it. Let's dismiss it with the contempt it deserves. Let's not start frothing and twisting our knickers in a twist.
Let's not put our knickers in a twist, says Karan Thapar. Karan, I've had the time of my life by trying to interrupt you. I've done to you what you often do to many of your interviewees, but a pleasure to have you here on India at 9. Karan Thapar, Sam Miller, Padma Rao, Tom Varakan, thanks very much for joining us on India at 9. Should the New Zealand TV host be sacked for his remarks? Well, M. Pujari writes in, the New Zealand TV host remarks were racist and not in good taste. Sacking Henry will only soothe the insult. Media across the world should boycott him socially, and Sheila Dikshit has behaved maturely by not reacting to the controversy. Where do we stand? This is the editor's take here on CNN IBN. Any self-respecting Indian who watches the Paul Henry tape on CNN IBN will be infuriated. The truth is, this is not a harmless slip of the tongue, but part of Henry's consistent anti-Indian remarks. The man is unfortunately a racist and deserves to be sacked, not suspended. New Zealand has a large immigrant Indian population, and Henry has let each and every Kiwi, Indian and New Zealander down.